In this lesson, we're going to talk about parabolas. We have two types of parabolas. We have the vertex, just like in a circle as HK. And the two types, type 1 is going to be the vertical that we're going to look at, because that's kind of usually what we think of with parabola. And then the other type is going to be horizontal. So for this type, vertical, it's going to be a y minus k is equal to 1 over 4p times x minus h squared. And again, our vertex is hk. And so you can kind of think of that horizontal here with the x, the vertical here with the y. If p is positive, it's going to open up. So p is positive, opens up. If p is negative, it's going to open down. So that's kind of that front term, kind of like we're used to with our A. If this is negative, it's going to open down. If this is positive, it's going to open up. And then we have our focus here. And I kind of have it written down below here so you can actually see it next to it for this first one. But I'm going to write it below as well up here. It is H is the first part, and then K plus P. And then our directrix, if I could spell. My goodness, I'll get there. D-I-R-E-C-T-R-I-X, there we go, is going to be y is equal to k minus p. So horizontal is going to be an x first, and then minus h equals 1 over 4p, and then a y minus k squared. So our x minus h and our y minus k are swapped here for horizontal. So again, if our p is positive, since we're horizontal, it's going to open right, open towards the right. And if p is negative, it's going to open to the left. And then our focus on this one is going to be an h plus pk, and then our directrix is going to be x equals h minus p, which I'll have to fix because I think I just copied and pasted, and so we're going to have to fix it on our one down below, not this first one. This first one we're good to go with figuring out what p is. So for this one, our y is first, so we know it is a vertical. Our p is positive because this is positive, so we know it's going to open up. So we know we are opening up, and again, we are vertical. So we're going to put the 1 over 4p equal to this 1/12 because we know that that 1/12 is equal to 1 over 4p. And if they're both over 1, then 12 is equal to 4p. And so we can go ahead and get our p value, which is going to be 3. So now we're going to go ahead and get our h and our k. So remember up here in our form, we have our h is with the x and our k is with the y. Now notice there is nothing with the x and there is nothing with the y, which means we are at 0, 0. So to find our focus, we are going to take the h and bring it down. And then we're going to take and add the p plus this k, or this y value here, and that is going to give us 0, 3 for our focus. And then our directrix, we are going to take k minus p. So if k, which was 0, and subtract your p, which was 3, we're going to get a y equals negative 3. So let's go ahead and graph this. We are going to put a dot at 0, 0, and that is our vertex. Put a little b next to it there. 0, 3 up here is our focus, our F. And then we're going to have a solid line going through the y-axis at negative 3. And we are going to be drawing that parabola. There, going up. Now, where does that P? That P is this distance right here between our focus and our vertex, and then our vertex and our directrix. That is 3, that is 3. So that's kind of that P value, if you're wondering, well, what's P? And I'm going to put a little lowercase d next to the directrix there. All right, so now on this one's the one that we do need to fix our stuff here, because this is a horizontal, and or no, I think this one is, oh, almost correct. Got one little correction we'll have to make there. I think I tried to fix it because I think it's wrong on your notes, so just pay attention to that. But this should be an H minus P, and then this is HK, this is H plus P, K for our focus. So here's our H, and here's our K. So again, H goes with X, K goes with the Y. So a reminder up here that this is, again, horizontal. So if P is positive, it opens right. If P is negative, it opens left. So because this is negative right there, we're going to open left. Okay, so which means it's going to kind of open up towards the left. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do what we did before, where we have our -1/8 is equal to 1 over 4P, and solve for P. So again, both ones on top, we're going to give this negative kind of down below here to that 8. So it's going to be -8 equals 4P, which means that your P is -2. So H is 2. Again, we keep the negative there, and we're just pulling that number in front, and then a 1 for K. And then we're going to add our P and our H to get 0, and then the 1, just bringing K down, and then H minus P. So if H is 2 and we're subtracting -2, that's going to ultimately become a double negative, and we're going to have an, oh, and that should be X, and X equals 4. There we go. So we are going to go through 4 on the X-axis and draw that vertical line. We are going to have a vertex at 2, 1. There's our vertex. And then we're going to have at 0, 1, our focus. And then we're going to draw our parabola. Again, opening to the left. There we go. All right, now we're going to go the other direction this time, and we are going to write from the graph all of our stuff, our P, our vertex, focus, and directrix. So this one is a horizontal. As we can see, it's opening to the right. Horizontal, and it's opening to the right, which means that P is positive. And so we're going to be using the X minus H equals 1 over 4P, and then Y minus K squared. So P, remember, is this distance right here between the focus and the vertex, and then the vertex to the directrix. So it's a 1. It's a distance here of 1, and then again, it's a distance here of 1. And then we have our H and our K, which is just our vertex, which we can see right there where it's at. It's at 0, -2. We can see that our focus is right here, and that is at 1, 2. Sorry, 1, -2. And then we have our line right here, our directrix. So that is going to be a Y equals, and we're at -1. So now we have all of our parts that we need. And so we are going to be, oh, and again, that should be an X. Goodness. Helps when those are copied right, so you don't mess up. Because it's going through the X-axis there at -1. So it's an X. And we have our form. So X minus, and then we're going to put our H in there of 0, equals 1 over 4 times P, which is 1, and then a Y minus our K, which is -2, and then squared. So it looks like we wind up with an X equals 1 over 4, y plus 2 squared. So in our last example here, this is a vertical, and we can see that it's opening down, which we know that then the p is negative. And we are going to be using the y minus k is equal to 1 over 4p, and then x minus h squared. Okay, so y comes first when it's opening vertical, right? And of course, all of our stuff is correct over here on this one, but I think it was both of our horizontal ones that we had a little correction we had to make there. But p in this case is this distance here, which is 4, and again, it is negative because we are opening down. And then our vertex right there, vertex, and again, focus, and again, directrix. So vertex is at -2, -2, 3. Had to get my, there we are, there's the 0, 0, the origin. And our focus here is at -2, -1. Our directrix is up here at 7, so y equals 7. And let's put it into our equation. Again, we're using this equation, and we're going to plug in all of our pieces that we found. So y minus our k, so that's a 3, is equal to 1 over 4 times -4, parenthesis x minus -2 squared. So a couple things we need to do here. We need to change our double negative, and we need to multiply those together. So it should be a y minus 3 equals 1 over -16, parenthesis x plus 2 squared. There we go.